Hello and welcome to haQ. My name is Jakob, I'm your host, and you're watching a haQ episode. Now, if you happen to stumble upon this channel because you wanted to know how to connect Ethernet to your iPhone or iPad, then I'll just tell you real quickly, I'm a musician and I use iDevices such as the iPhone here to make music and videos. So all of the content you see on my channel has been made entirely on iDevices, iPhone and iPad. Right, so if I open up Safari right now, you can see that we're entering discord.com. And if you look in the upper left corner, you can see that I've got flight mode on, which means all of the antennas, the Wi-Fi, everything is off. So how am I browsing the web? Well, I'm using Ethernet. So stick with me and I'll show you all the equipment you need, how to connect this, and I'll tell you why you need that equipment. So I'm just gonna change the setup here so that you can see the connections being made. We already have an iDevice and we have the Ethernet connection right here, and we want to connect these together. So the first thing we're going to need is this. This is an official Apple Ethernet to USB connector. It's got the Ethernet connector right there and it ends up in a USB connection. Apple loves dongles, don't they? The next thing we need is some way to get this to work with this or this. It's an iPad. And now we actually have two options to do that. The old camera connection kit. This model has a USB port at the top and it ends up in a lightning connector. The next one is the one I recommend that you use because this one you can connect power to. It's the USB 3 to lightning connector. It's basically this with an added port for this. And yes, we're going to need that too. But you only need this adapter when you're using this connector, and I'll show you how to connect this one first, and I'll show you the other way with this one later. Right, so let's start by connecting the Ethernet connector into the Ethernet to USB connector, and there we go. Next, I'm picking up the USB 3 to lightning connector, and so I'm going to plug the Ethernet to USB connector into the USB port of the USB 3 to lightning connector. Too many words, and I'm going to be saying those a lot. Right, so when this is connected, we need to apply power. So I plug the power into the power port and I plug this into the wall. Now there are no lights or anything that will indicate that this is actually on, but it should be running. Now the last thing we need to do is to connect this whole dongle mess into the iPhone here, or an iPad if you have that. But before I do that, I need to clarify that both the Ethernet to USB connector and camera kit connector, or USB 3 to lightning connector as Apple calls it, needs to be actual Apple products. I do not under any circumstances recommend you to buy third-party stuff because most likely it won't work. I know they're expensive, I know it's ugly, but if you want to connect Ethernet to your iDevices, this is how you do it. Right, so let's plug this in. As we can see, it's charging and we're not getting any message, but I tried this earlier and I was getting some message. If you watch up in the upper corner here, I've got flight mode on. And the reason I have that is because I want you to see that I've turned off all of the antennas and Wi-Fi and anything else that can make a connection to either my mobile provider or to my Wi-Fi router in the next room. So now with this connected, let's open up Safari and discord.com opens up. Now the thing is, this is cached. So to try if this really works, I need to do something more. What I'm going to do is to start streaming this video here. And it just starts running. Right, so let's try out the other way of connecting it using the old camera connection kit. We unplug this from the iPhone, but we keep this plugged. I'm gonna remove the iPhone so I have a little space. Alright, so this connector doesn't have an option for applying power to the circuit because we do need power for the circuit. And if you're wondering why, all of this is electronics. These all contain circuits to make one thing talk to another. So they need power to run. So how do we get power into this? By simply using a USB hub. Now, this particular brand is only sold in Sweden, I think, but I'm thinking that most powered USB hubs would work. I'm gonna begin by connecting the power. And you're gonna see the light there light up, and now we have power to it. So it's running on an adapter that came with the USB hub, and that adapter is now connected to a wall socket, feeding some precious power into this thing. Next, we need to plug the Ethernet to USB connector into the USB hub. like so. And now all we need is the cable that came with the USB hub, plug it in to the USB hub, and then connect that to the old Apple camera connection kit. And now we've got worse of a mess. Now we have a powered circuit, and this should work just as it did with the USB 3 to Lightning connector. Are you getting tired of me saying connector yet? Because I am. Right, so let's plug this into the phone and we might get a message or not. So with this plugged, we're going to open up Safari again. It's going to open the cached version of Discord, and I'm going to play another video just to show you that this actually works. Flight mode is still on, no Wi-Fi, no mobile provider net thing going on here, just the Ethernet connector. And let's play this. And there we go. The tutorials of how to do this is actually over. In the next segment, we're going to run tests. And to do that, I've downloaded an app. It's a Swedish app from a Swedish site called Bredbanskollen. It tests your network connection. And through the miracle of video editing, we're now back with a different setup and I can start doing measurements. Now I've done this off camera before, so I can tell you that I get the same type of measurements when using the Ethernet connection with this powered USB hub and when I'm using it with the USB 3 to Lightning connector. It doesn't really matter how I connect it, I get the same type of measurements. So let's start measuring the Ethernet connection here. And we start measuring it by just pressing this button. It's Swedish and it says starta mätningen. It means start measuring. Right, so that went on a little bit longer than I thought it would. Either way, as a download, we have 90.8 megabit per second. And in upload, we have 11.57 megabit per second. And the response time is 8 milliseconds. And this is very good. This is what I get when I measure my network speed with a laptop. My broadband provider tells me I'm supposed to get 100 megabit per second in download and 10 megabit per second in upload. And this is close enough. So that's all good. Right, so there you go, how to make Ethernet work with your iDevice, iPhone or iPad. Hopefully I've answered a lot of your questions in this video, but if I haven't, then go ahead, just comment away in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, all comments and ratings are very much appreciated. I've also got a Patreon account, so if you want to help in supporting creativity and good content here on YouTube, then why not join up on Patreon. Now, if that isn't your cup of tea, then you could always share my videos. Press the thumbs up button and spread the word if you think that my videos deserve it, of course. As usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it.